So welcome to the Top Summer Program webinar. Today we'll be learning about some about the value of summer programs in general to high school students in particular, and also middle school students. And also we'll be hearing from 3 different representatives from 3 different organizations that offer summer programs that we can vouch for and that our students have gotten a lot out of in the past. I'm Kieran Lyons. I'm the Director of Education Programs at To the Top. So I touch on pretty much a lot of stuff that are a lot of the services that we offer, including advanced planning. And advanced planning is our service for high schoolers as they prepare to apply to college. And even more so, I work with students as they apply to college, so I can speak to the value of summer programs. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Our 3 presenters today are Patricia Wang from Scholar Launch, Susan Kornick from Summer Discovery, and DP LeBourdais from Polygence. And they'll be going in that order. So if you have a question for any of them in particular, for us at To the Top, or just in general you'd like them to address, you can put it in the chat and we can all see it. And if you prefer to be anonymous or something like that, you can send it directly to me, or you can send it to I believe it's just To the Top account here. Okay, so Patricia, you can go ahead whenever you're ready, and let me know if there's anything I can do to help you with the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Kieran. Thank you so much for having me here. Let me just, can you see this? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Hi, everyone. My name is Patricia. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager at Scholar Launch. So we are a company that offers online research and entrepreneurship programs for students in 7th grade and above. So I'm going to spend the next 15 minutes talking about why should students do research, how to use the research in college applications and in some other ways. And we're going to go through some case studies and finally some of the programs we're offering this spring and summer. So why should students do research? This is a topic that has been highly discussed by many people in the past, so I'm not going to go into details on this topic. So basically, research is a highly individualized activity where you can basically research on any topics you want. So unlike other activities like competitions or model UNs, they have to stay on the very top of this activity to really stand out. Research is something that if you have this result, you can demonstrate your proficiency and your expertise on this field. And also, despite the fact that many schools are using holistic reviews now, academic strength is their first consideration when they look into any applicant. So Yale says Yale is above all an academic institution. This means academic strength is our first consideration in evaluating any candidate. And Columbia says the Committee on Admissions considers each applicant's academic potential, intellectual strength, and ability to think independently. And UPenn says on their offer letter that nearly 1/3 of the admitted students engaged in academic research during their time in high school. So they're just basically telling you to do this activity. And after you finish a research program, how do you showcase this experience in college applications? So this is just some examples of how to use them in your application. So we recommend you to list your research topic on the activity list in Common App. You can put more details into the additional information section. And some schools, they would open a school portal for you to submit your research projects and other creative projects. So you can attach your abstract, attach your publication links on their school portals. And the next thing is something we highly recommend is to reflect on what you did and learned during the research program and put them into your personal essays. So a lot of students, they learn a lot about themselves during research. They would find that, oh, this is the major I want to pursue, and this is the topic I'm really interested in when I go into college. So this is something you can put in your why major essays. And some students, they would find that this topic or this major specifically is not their thing. That is also okay. You don't have to be successful at everything you do. You can also put this into your essay questions about how you overcome a challenge or talk about something that you failed before. Yeah, so we recommend you to just write about anything about your research program and put them in your essays. And the last thing is if you work really well, if you have impressed your professor, you can always ask them to write you a letter of recommendation to use as an endorsement of your academic ability. So this is just an example of how you can put your research on Common App. So this student did a research with a professor from Yale and a professor from Johns Hopkins, and he lists his activities here, and also she goes into details in the additional information section. So this student got offers from UPenn, Berkeley, Georgetown, and other schools. And we always tell our students that the end of your research program doesn't mean the end of your academic path. Rather, we would encourage them to think of the end of our research program at the start of their very long academic path, their academic career. So after this program, what can you use your research results in some other ways? So we have students use it in their extended essays if they are taking IB curriculum, or they can use it as a capstone project for their school. We have students use their research to participate in competitions and won awards. We also have students who use their research experience to apply for other competitive programs like summer schools or internships. And you can also share your findings on academic conferences. So we have a student who did research on music therapy, and she was actually invited by his professor to go to Vancouver to present her findings. After you end your program here at Scholar Launch, don't just stop contacting your professor. You can always build a long-term relationship with them. We have many students still get in touch with their mentors years after this program, and some of them even become really good friends, lifelong friends in real life. Okay, let's talk about some student case studies. So this student is from Brazil. He went into a public high school in Brazil, and he really wanted to go to a university in the US. But he didn't have much resources. He didn't have anyone to tell him like how you can apply to the universities in the US. So he applied for the first time, and he got rejected by all the universities he applied for. And he had to take a gap year. That's when he joined Scholar Launch. So he's really into history and journalism. And he got into a cohort of our group research practicum, and studied with a faculty at Harvard University, and his teaching assistant is a PhD candidate from Stanford. So this student, he chose a topic that is deeply related to his hometown, Goiás, Brazil. He was able to gather some firsthand resources by taking field trips in his town and collecting oral history from locals. And he also looked up some resources online to write about this military repression in his hometown. As many students, and particularly as an international student, so this student struggled with academic writing at first. Fortunately, he got the help from the faculty advisor, from the teaching assistant, and they really pushed him to get everything right. They helped him in the most detailed ways possible to help him on his structure, his grammar, his flow, his choice of words, his citation styles, all that. And I think the student went around like 6 rounds of edits before he got his paper published. And after that, he used this experience to apply for the universities in the US again. And very exciting news, eventually he got into NYU with a huge amount of scholarship. So this case is very special because unlike other students who do a lot of activities, this student have very limited resources. So Scholar Launch is his only academic activity he did before he applied for college. This, I would say it made a huge impact on his application. And this is what we do here at Scholar Launch. We provide a bigger platform to any students around the world to help them just transform their academic passion into something tangible. Okay, so we don't have enough time here, so I'm just gonna skip the next case study. So let's talk about who we are and what we offer here. So we are a company founded by a group of educators from Harvard, Yale, Cornell, and Oxford, and we work with over 200 professors and faculties from top universities, and they cover almost all the topics you can think of. So these are just some professors that we've been working with. We also work with a lot of PhD candidates as our teaching assistant. They provide one-on-one writing support to students. Many of them, they teach academic writing courses in universities, so they are really the experts on academic writing. And we have over 1,000 alumni over 16 countries and regions. So many of them got into very good schools. This is a very brief list. We have more cases like this. Very brief list of what schools they got in and what research topic they've worked on. Yeah, so we offer 2 types of programs. The first one is our research practicum. I'm not going to go into details of all the formats, but basically, if you're a student from 7th grade and above, you can apply for our research practicum. And our spring cohorts start in March 2023, and our summer program starts in June. And if you go to our website here, I don't know if you can see this, but yeah. So if you want to check our research programs, just click Group Research Practicum. And I think we offer over 20 programs for high school students and several programs for junior high school students. If you're interested in any topic, for example, applied math and AI, you can click Learn More to just learn about the details of this program. Okay, and we also provide an entrepreneurship program called the Leadership and Innovation Lab, or LIL. So if you are interested in launching your own ventures to learn how to start a business, we have a entrepreneurship and leadership experts to take you step by step, like to teach you like how to market your product, how to pitch your projects to investors, all that. So by the end of the program, the students can launch their own organization. So think of LIL as a incubator for young entrepreneurs. This you can also find on our website here. So after you launch this program, you will also have the opportunity to showcase your program on our website. And you can apply for funding to help your ventures grow. We also have a alumni network for you to communicate with other entrepreneurs, to build a relationship, to build a partnership with them, and to recruit students for your own organization. Okay, so our tuition ranges from $3,500 to $8,800, and we offer merit-based scholarships and financial aids to any students who have limited budgets. So you can go to our website here to submit your application. And if you use WeChat, you can just scan our code here to schedule a one-on-one free consultation with us. If you use email, then you can contact us at team@scholarlaunch.org. So yeah, that is all for my part. I'm gonna hand over to Kieran here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Patricia. So yeah, again, you can visit their website, scholarlaunch.org, or email them, or use the QR code there. And if you have any questions for Patricia, or you can feel free to put them in the chat if you want to address them now. So in the interest of time, we're going to move quickly on to Susan Kornick, who's going to represent Summer Discovery. Susan, you can go ahead when you like. And just as before, if you have any questions for Susan, please either wait to the end or put them in the chat.
Let's see, I'm on mute and I'm just trying to figure out how to change the view. See, it's a little bit.
Display settings, if you want to see.
Yeah, I don't see where it went. Went away somewhere. Let's see. That's okay. Do you see my full screen, or do you see? I don't see it as a full screen.
I see the slide. Yeah, I think it's on display settings, the drop-down menu in the middle next to your mouse.
Let's see. I don't see display settings. Let's see.
Oh, okay. We must be seeing.
Oh, here I found it. There it goes. Covered up. Sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Perfect. Good. Great. Well, thank you so much. And again, my name is Susan Kornick, and I'm our Director of International Student Recruitment here at Summer Discovery. And I look forward to sharing with you a few tips on how you can make the most of your summer vacation by participating in a pre-college summer program with Summer Discovery or the Summer Institute for the Gifted. I first wanted to talk just really briefly, because I know you've probably heard this and talked about this a lot with your college counselors and schools and students and colleagues and friends. But why is pre-college summer program important as students start to think about transitioning from high school to college or middle school to high school? And certainly these pre-college enrichment programs offer a transformative experience that allows you to foster exploration in your personal areas of interest or academic areas of interest and passion. It helps you build a strong sense of self as you prepare for your educational narrative and build confidence and leadership in a safe and secure and engaging environment. We like to think that our pre-college summer programs also help you develop a number of the soft skills that are necessary for successful transition to college, such as time management, teamwork, and leadership, and allow you to network with like-minded peers from all over the world and make new friends. Research has shown that students who participate in a pre-college summer program improve their academic performance and enhance their educational portfolio, enhancing their college application and resume, making them a more attractive candidate when it comes time to applying for higher education. I do want to talk briefly about why Summer Discovery. We know that there's a lot of options out there for you in the summer, and a lot of third-party providers providing pre-college programs at different host locations around the country and the world. But we really believe in the principles that were founded in our beginnings as a family-owned and operated company with over 55 years in the industry, providing transformative summer programs for middle school and high school students. And we really believe that the student is our top priority, and providing an unparalleled expertise, safety, and supervision for our students while they're on our program with a 10-to-1 student to staff ratio. One of the unique differences about a summer discovery program versus some of the other programs out there is that we work in true partnership, authentic partnership with our universities. What does that mean for you as a student or a parent of a student? That means that the academics that your students will be participating in the Summer Discovery program are all overseen by our university partners. Our university partners develop the core curriculums for those classes that they're going to be offering, and they hire the faculty to teach those courses. So you're getting a true taste of what a college level course might look like, or a subject area, how it might be taught. It's just packaged a little bit differently to make it more interesting and inviting at the high school level. And they're typically in subject areas that are not a part of your typical core curriculum in high school. We have a wide range of offerings in 9 subject areas. Typically, students will take 2 courses or 2 academic periods while they're on campus, or they might choose one academic subject area to study both morning and afternoon in a full day intensive academy. And the one other thing that I'm really proud about summer discovery programs is they're quite diverse. So prior to the pandemic, about 45% of our students came from outside the United States, really emulating a true university feel or community, with students coming from over 44 US states and 70 countries worldwide. Obviously, with the pandemic, we saw a little bit of a hit in our international student enrollments, but in 2022, we got our international students back up to 22% across 10 campuses. So really excited about the growth for international to come back and really provide that diversity on campus. Another thing that's great about our programs as well, academics are the core of a summer discovery summer program, and certainly a big purpose of why a student is coming. Really, students want to get a sense of not only what it's like to learn on a college campus, but also what it's like to live on a college campus. So we do offer afternoon, evening, and weekend activities and excursions that are all part of the tuition. And we have a lot of different varieties, a lot of variety of options. So you can do an on-campus residential program. We have commuter options in many states, and we have middle school programs as well. Here's just a quick look at the summer 2023 lineup. So we will be at UCLA, great opportunities there, as well as with the UCLA Anderson School of Management, their graduate school in business. The University of Michigan, the University of Texas in Austin, Georgetown University. We also have a program over in the UK at Cambridge University. So those of you who want to travel internationally, we have a great summer discovery program there. And then we have a new program that we launched last year called Career Accelerators. I will talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And that's being offered at the University of California at Berkeley, UNC Chapel Hill, and Barnard College in Columbia University. We also work very closely and in partnership with the programs at the University of Pennsylvania and the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania, as well as Johns Hopkins. And we have 2 non-university partners that provide 2 of our Career Accelerator curriculums, Inc. Magazine and IdeaGen. Then I just wanted to just really hone in on the fact that, you know, these are authentic and true partnerships with our universities. So you are getting a university instructor or faculty member. In many cases, it is a professor, a full-fledged professor, or an adjunct professor teaching the courses and providing the oversight for the curriculum. All of the courses are predominantly small to mid-size, so lots of engagement and interaction with the faculty. So somewhere between 15 and 25 students, depending on the classroom space and the needs, like a lab. And then again in 9 subject areas. So there is something, I think, for everybody, whether it be business or law and government or leadership or medicine or STEM. We have courses across the board. I wanted to go into a little more detail about 2 of our cornerstone or flagship programs. I'm going to start with the University of Texas in Austin. We know that that's a really popular site, location for many of our students to want to not only attend higher education there, but also to test it out in high school as a pre-college program. It's a 3-week program at the University of Texas in Austin. It goes from June 25th to the 14th. It is open to students who are finishing 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, typically 14 to 18. We have 2 different types of academics for their core curriculum. They can either take a full day intensive. This would meet both morning and afternoon, have the same instructor teaching. Those are really, I think, some of my favorite courses that the University of Texas in Austin offers in the summer. One is our Medicine Academy. This is really a hands-on experience for our high school students to see what it might be like and to learn some of the basic skills of becoming a doctor. The teacher, the faculty member, is a professor in the School of Medicine at the University of Texas in Austin, and the students actually have class in those simulated hospital rooms with those simulated bodies that actually behave like they're real. They bleed and they breathe, and the students come to class in lab coats and learn how to take vital signs, do suturing, deliver babies. They get their CPR and first aid certification. So a very hands-on approach to learning all about anatomy and physiology as they're actually performing and doing real tasks. In our engineering academy, also a full day intensive, really exciting. This is really modeled after our capstone course in engineering. They will look at all aspects in the design cycle, and they will actually create and develop and build a prototype of a drone and then fly those drones. So really great, again, hands-on experience at University of Texas in Austin, as well as our Digital Business Academy, which is the combination of learning all about digital marketing and digital business models. The other way to attend the program at the University of Texas in Austin is to take 2 courses, and then you can mix and match subject areas for those students who may or may not have an area of focus or area of passion, and they just want to test drive a couple of different subject areas. And it really runs the gamut from law to sports management, to neuroscience and microbiology, to fashion design and product merchandising. Again, when you're not in class, we're going to go and really explore and take part in all the recreational facilities on campus as well as off campus, doing all the highlights in and around the area, everything from the Back Bridge to hiking, to Barton Springs, to Six Flags and the water park. Second campus that I wanted to just talk a little bit about today is really our flagship program. It is our largest program. It's our longest running program. We've been at UCLA for over 40 years. And we also have a partnership with the UCLA Anderson School of Management, as I had mentioned. Lots of different options at UCLA. You can do a 3-week program. There are 2 3-week sessions here on the screen, June 25th to the 14th and July 16th to August 4th, or you can stay for 6 weeks and do 2 3-week programs and make it a longer summer experience. We have a middle school program here for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, as well as a high school program, 9th through 12th. And then again, we serve the students as low as age 12. Again, lots of different ways to take part in your academics. You can take one of our full day intensives, either the Business, Entertainment, Media, and Sports Academy through the Anderson School of Management, or Digital Marketing and Social Media, also through the Anderson School of Management. And then we have some specialty programming in screenwriting and acting for those creative students. And then, or you can choose 2 enrichment courses, again, just like Texas, and picking from a variety of different subject areas. Again, kids at UCLA love to have a great time. They love to be out and about, either down in Westwood, hiking up to the Hollywood sign, visiting Disneyland and Universal Studios, or the beaches. And again, all of those activities every afternoon, every evening, and all weekend long, all included in the tuition. In addition to that, at UCLA, you come for a 2-week session. So we have 2 2-week sessions. You can combine those 2-week sessions and make a 4-week program. You can actually combine a 2-week session with a 3-week program and make a 5-week summer experience. The 2-week program is just for high school students, 9th through 12th grade. Again, a lot of the same activities. And then here in the 2-week program, those are all full day intensives. So they pick one intensive for the 2-week period, and they range from sports business and music business to coding, to web design, and to leadership and entrepreneurship. I wanted to also talk briefly about our newest program. We launched this last year. It's called a Career Accelerators. This is a hands-on intensive college and career exploration program. Students are in academic engagement for a longer day, typically anywhere from 5 to 8 hours per day. And these are 9-day and 2-week programs, depending on the campus location. This curriculum is spent part of the time in a classroom learning about the subject area, and then putting that subject area and that knowledge to use, learning through project-based learning, as well as career exploration. Students will go on site visits, they'll have guest speakers, and they'll do project-based learning. The 5 tracks, experiential tracks, are medicine and health sciences, engineering innovations, virtual reality design with Unity and Meta Quest 2, Idea Gen Future Global Leaders, and Inc. Magazine Young Entrepreneurs. Just wanted to point out 2 of them that may not be as obvious as the first 3. So I want to talk a little bit about Inc. Magazine Young Entrepreneurs. This program is taught by NIFTY, the National Federation for Teaching Entrepreneurship, and in conjunction with Inc. magazine. It is really an introduction to entrepreneurialism. The students come to either campus with a product or a company in mind, or an idea for a business, or they create a business while they're on campus. And then they will learn all about the different aspects of putting together a business plan. And then they will present that business plan much like in a Shark Tank competition. The IdeaGen Future Global Leaders program is also very unique. It's in partnership with a virtual organization called IdeaGen that is working very closely with leaders across all different industries in politics and education to work with the United Nations on the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. In this program for high school students, we're going to introduce the high school students to those 17 United Nations Development Goals. And together they will work in teams or in small groups to come up with a solution for one of those goals for a better 2030. Two really unique programs within the Career Accelerator program. Career Accelerators is offered in 4 locations, as I mentioned to you: UC Berkeley, UNC Chapel Hill. New York City has now been determined. It is going to be Barnard College at Columbia, and the University of Michigan is a host of our Inc. magazine program as well. I did also want to just introduce the Summer Institute for the Gifted. Summer Institute for the Gifted is a program specifically for those students who have either been identified as gifted and talented or showing signs of that academic excellence, or creative learners who need a little bit more, right, a little bit more of an intense academic experience tailored to their learning style. The Summer Institute for the Gifted serves students as young as 6. So first grade through 11th grade can participate in a Summer Institute for the Gifted program. The younger, the elementary school students are a day program, commuter only. And then once they get into 4th grade, they can be a residential student. The academics is very unique in its own way. It is multidisciplinary. It's all in one of the areas of STEAM and humanities, and really allows the students within the academic period to make learning connections across disciplines, exercise conceptual thinking, and gain strong research and creative problem solving skills. Each academic class will have its own overarching objectives, and then the teacher will work with each student individually to come up with individual objectives. And then the students throughout this 2 or 3 week period will actually work on a project or a product at the end of the program to simulate and to bring together all of their learning. Again, the academics are all problem-based learning. They really focus on applying the concepts that they learned in the classroom to real-world problems and engaging like professionals in the field. The other nice thing about the SIG program is that we really do like to think our programming is for the whole person, and we really want their students to have an opportunity to collaborate with like-minded peers and really address some of the social and emotional development that they need along the way. And just a quick view on the different locations for the Summer Institute for the Gifted program and the grades or the ages that are served at those programs. And then just really quickly, I just want to go through the application process. It's not too complicated. So you students will apply online on the Summer Discovery website for all of the programs that I've talked about today, with the exception of those programs at Wharton, Penn, and Johns Hopkins. Those applications will sit on the university's website specifically. The student will be required to put in the name of a school counselor and their contact information so we can contact the counselor to get some feedback on the student's application, to self-report their GPA, or if they are unable to, or they go to an international school, to send us a copy of their grade report or transcript. And then again, our international students are expected to show English language proficiency. The Summer Institute for the Gifted program also has an additional eligibility documentation requirement, and that is really either having been tested by a nationally normed test in the area of gifted and talented education, to have been accepted to a gifted and talented program in their home community or their local school, or to attend another summer program for gifted and talented students similar to ours, or to get a letter of recommendation from an academic core teacher, a core academic teacher. Acceptance decisions are typically made within 2 to 3 business days. And certainly as we get closer to summer, we like to move people through the process as quickly as we can so that they can enroll in their first choice classes. and they do register for their classes after they've enrolled and secured their spot in the program. And just wanted to just quickly talk about our team. So it starts with our full-time team here at Summer Discovery, working day in and day out with our parents and our students to help them find the right fit, make sure that their plans are going according to plan and they're all set up for success when they get to campus. But it's really our staff on campus that works with our students and really watches them 24/7. There's a leadership team on every campus, headed up by our directors. All of our directors in our summer programs have been with us on an average of 15 years and come back year after year to run our programs. Working with our directors to support the director and the additional staff is our administrative team, starting with our programming coordinator, planning all of the activities, our academic coordinator acting as a liaison between the students and the faculty. And certainly since COVID, we have a registered nurse on all of our campuses to make sure that if a student were to get sick or injured, they're cared for and the communication back home is seamless. In addition to that, our resident counselors make up the majority of our team on campus, and they're there for their students, again, in that 10 student to every 1 staff ratio. They live right in the residence hall with the students, and they're there to make sure that the students are happy, healthy, and safe, and fully participate in the program throughout the duration of their time on campus. They're all been hired, background check, vetted, and trained by Summer Discovery. They're all over the age of 21. Most of them are probably closer to 25, and they're all just a great group of people, really acting as a mentor, a big brother to the students on campus. Again, if you have any other information, if you need any more information, please feel free to reach out. And my contact information is on the screen, or you can reach out through to the top, and I'm sure they can send you our way.
Thank you so much, Susan. And yeah, like Susan said, if at any point you lose the contact for any of these programs, we're obviously in close contact with them, so you can always reach out to us. It's info@tothetopeducation.com, or just go to our new website at tothetopeducation.com. All right, so GP, you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Excellent. I will share my screen. Wow, already from Pat and Susan's presentations, I am taken back to my high school days in rural Maine, and the opportunities that you young folks have. It is so exciting. My eyes popped out of my head when I heard you say students will be helping to deliver babies and so forth. What an amazing opportunity. I'd love to tell you all about Poligence, and here's the general overview of what I want to discuss. I'll introduce you to the program, why research is valued at great schools and research universities across the country, a case study from proprietary research that we've done on Harvard admissions data that reveals just how statistically powerful research can be in the admissions process. I'll give you an overview of our programs, a few mentors and project examples, and then I'll go over our very brief admissions process very briefly. To begin, Polygence is an online mentorship program that helps students turn their passions into unique research projects. We accomplish this by pairing intellectually curious students with PhD level mentors to do whatever they wish. The student gets to define their own project so they can design experiments, build robots, create podcasts, write original screenplays, and publish in peer-reviewed journals across all fields from the humanities to STEM. This is not only something that has been personally meaningful to me. As I mentioned, I grew up in rural Maine and didn't really think, my parents were very supportive, but I wasn't dreaming big when I was thinking of where I might go. And so research is really something that unlocked doors for me when I got to college at Middlebury, when I did a master's at Williams College, when I did a Fulbright grant in Switzerland, when I came to Stanford for my PhD, and even when I went into the Arctic Circle to do my dissertation research on glaciers and the various changes that have been brought about by climate change and cultural change as well. I not only taught at a high school before going back to graduate school, but I also really love working with students in research scenarios, including as a 2-year postdoc after I finished my PhD at Stanford at their digital humanities lab called the Center for Spatial and Textual Analysis. And what I can tell you is that we're not asking students to cure cancer while they're in high school. What we're asking them to do is begin to develop that muscle that allows them to contribute to faculty research at the highest levels. And just to let you know, our co-founder, Jin, is also a really inspiring person who found that research unlocked these doors for her, both at Princeton and then at Stanford. And now, as we're doing our collective work to really empower this generation of students to be more mindful and intentional about what they choose to study and how they choose to build their careers. The way that I describe research, because I very often think in having done this work sort of on a tall ship in the middle of nowhere, I think in spatial and geographic metaphors. So I like to think of research as mapping uncharted intellectual space through repeatable steps. And importantly, there is also an aspect of not knowing where you're going that I think this quote from Eyeline evokes quite nicely. If we knew what it was we were doing, it would not be called research, would it? What we want to do as part of the Polygence program is to encourage students to explore without the pressure of grades, to really investigate things that catch their interest, that spark passions, and then to turn those into, if you will, a superpower on their college applications or when they're applying to internships, something that only they can talk about because they have designed this research project from scratch themselves. Research is really valuable for colleges and universities across the board because it's considered the pinnacle of achievement in higher education. And this is true, of course, for colleges and predominantly undergrad institutions, where as undergraduates, if you have research experience or if you gain it there, you can work alongside professors to publish original findings. And it's also extremely valuable at R1 universities, top research institutions that are amongst those schools that you're very familiar with, Ivies, great state institutions across the US, Europe, and beyond. To give you a sense of how literally valuable, financially valuable this was from the annual report my last year working at Stanford. You can see $114 million on revenue from 847 new technologies alone. And that amounts to almost $2 billion in grants and funding at the federal and private levels that flow into the university in just a single year. So if you have any doubts about why these universities and admissions officers are valuing research even at a high school level, here is the proof. These are things that the university is using to fuel its engine of research and to carry its mission forward. Because we ourselves are all researchers, Jin, PhD candidate at Harvard, Janos did his PhD in quantum physics at MIT, and Oasis, who was at the time a Yale graduate, I should say, and is now a McKinsey analyst. We dug into the data that Harvard had released as part of its currently unfolding lawsuit against Student for Fair Admissions. And you can scan this QR code to read the entire white paper if you wish, and I'm happy to provide that to you directly as well. We can put my email in the chat here so people can reach out. But ultimately, what it boiled down to, 160,000 applications to Harvard between 2014 and 2019. We came to see that about 8,000 students apply to Harvard each year with perfect grades and perfect SAT scores. And those students did not receive, the majority of them anyway, did not receive the highest ranking in academic terms. This is because even perfect grades and test scores don't really convey a sense of scholarship or academic creativity. And interestingly, extra projects, academic projects like the kind that we support at Polygence, are a key to sort of showing those admissions officers that you are more than just your grades. You're someone with creativity. You're someone who is asking questions about the world and trying to find answers. And statistically speaking, as you can see, the chance of admission rises exponentially with an improved academic rating. So if you're amongst those students who have great grades and SAT scores, whether you're applying to Harvard or not, because so many other universities take their model for admitting students in holistic admission ways from Harvard, you can see a spike from 8.6% to almost 68% when you can bump up into that #1 academic rating. This is all to say that independent work can be the most statistically meaningful way of taking a really good application and making it a great one. To introduce you to our program, here is a full view of the different offerings. As you can see, the full 10-session program begins at $26.95 US. And then there are a number of different offerings that you can add on. For students who are committed to publishing, we offer extra showcasing support. For students who need to do a little bit of exploration beforehand, we have something called a Pathfinders Career Discovery Program, which I'll speak more about later. And so exciting to us, we also have a college credit program with UC Irvine, such that if students write research papers and submit them for grading with UCI experts and faculty, they can receive 3 college credits. The fee for that is $1,700. And based on the going rate for a single course at a US university, a 4-year school, this is actually quite an economical means of receiving a full course of credit as well. To break things down by milestones that we've built out on our platform, which includes direct messaging, integrated Zoom, integrated Google Docs, integrated Google Colab, and really wonderful feedback loops for students to rate how their sessions with their mentors went. We have these core milestones that are founded on project-based learning. Basically, what we want to provide students with is those skills that will allow them not only to succeed in this project, but to succeed in future projects when they get to college and beyond. So lots of great study skills, time management, project management, and so forth. We have a wonderful acceptance rate. Many of our students are applying to R1 schools, and so they want to do research projects. So there likely is a positive feedback loop there, but our acceptance rates to top 25 schools is 56%. Ivy League schools is 26% compared to a national average of about 5.5%. And since our founding in 2019, we've now supported over 2,000 students from 44 countries, which we're super, super proud of. This is all thanks to our mentors, of whom we have more than 2,000 registered across all fields, ranging from lawyers to doctors to professors to postdocs to PhD candidates. And they really help students unlock very interesting projects. Deborah, an MD, helped a student to do research on neurological diseases like dementia and amnesia. And that student, who's now a sophomore at Harvard, instead of writing a research paper, she wanted to create a podcast in order to spread her knowledge and understanding to a wider population. Other students choose to focus on things that will affect their community, like this wonderful project with Tanya on developing a mental health advocacy group based on psychological research for his school. And other students are using cutting edge techniques with AI and machine learning in order to understand the way that we use speech and the biases that it can reveal in our politics and culture. It's not all, again, my PhD is in the history of art and architecture, so it's not all STEM opportunity. I love this project where a student worked with an MFA from Tisch to do an original fashion project that looked at historical styles. The student would go on to say that she really sort of found her niche with this project. And that's exactly what we love to hear, when students can find that thing that they want to do, describe it, and then the mentor will actually volunteer. They elect to work with a student rather than being assigned to the student directly. I mentioned our program with UC Irvine. We have a detailed spec sheet for that in terms of eligibility, but basically we help students to prepare a 7 to 11 page APA formatted research paper so that they're fully able to do that on their own when they get to college. And then if they receive a C or higher, then they'll receive those 3 credits from UC Irvine and an official transcript that they can use at UC, CSU schools and beyond as well. Our own internal data from how students feel when they exit the program is one of my favorite things to share. In particular, the stat that says 84% of students reported that work with their mentor made them feel more optimistic about their academic future. That's perhaps a little bit more of a nuanced statistic, but it's something that's super meaningful for students, so many of whom feel intense pressure to succeed. Giving them a little bit of nudge to be more positive, to be more optimistic is something that we actively try to bake into the program. And by way of conclusion, there are really interesting statistics, some of which I've shared about our own alumni, but a third of students admitted to UPenn's class of 2026 engaged in academic research in high school. This is from their blog from last year. So just further testimonials to how important these kinds of projects can be when applying to college. Our application is a very short and sweet experience. There are no grades or letters of recommendation required, specifically because we believe that all students, regardless of their GPA, have something that they care about, that they want to pursue, and this is a chance to unlock it with an expert in that field. Finally, I wanted to touch on our Pathfinders program, which is a 3-session program that allows a student who might not know which direction they want to go in, whether they be an 8th grader or a college freshman, to work one-on-one with experts in different careers or academic subjects in order to learn more. And I'm really happy that this is a program that we offer free to the top students. Just as an example, these are 3 different students working in basically biology. And you can see really wonderful credentials. We let the students meet with these mentors in order to understand what their approach is, and then work with them afterwards to determine which of the different paths they found most compelling or meaningful. And the student can either take that as a directive for future internships or as an opportunity to invest in a one-on-one project with one of our mentors over the course of 3 to 9 months. This is the QR code for the exclusive discount that we offer to the top students. You can scan here, email students@Poligence, or let me just enter my name into the chat. Email me directly with more questions. I'm happy to share my WeChat account too, if that's appealing to people. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, GP. So I believe that at least Polygence and Summer Discovery have a priority deadline coming up very soon, tomorrow, for both of you. Is that right? Is there anything to add about that deadline? I know you can continue to apply after the priority deadlines, but
I for Summer Discovery, I wouldn't use that to be too afraid. It's really mostly to ensure that you get your top choice or your first choice classes, but certainly, don't worry about it if you can't get it in by tomorrow. Absolutely.
I will echo Susan. Yes, this moment of the deadline is really valuable for students who know they want to do a summer project, because this is the moment when we have the widest array of mentors available. That said, we have rolling application deadlines the 15th of every month. And so leading up into the summer, even in May, if a student wishes to begin in June, they can do so.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I don't think anyone should rush to a decision just because the priority deadline is tomorrow. But if you are well prepared, and if watching this video on Valentine's Day is the last step before you go out and apply, these programs have pretty straightforward application requirements, so I think you should go ahead. And also, if you're trying to decide what is best for you or your child or a student in your life, with regard to summer programs, you can always reach out to us. That's info@tothetop.education.com, or you can reach out to me. It's Kieran, Kieran at the same. And check out our new website. We're pretty proud of it. Has a lot of resources and has very simple contact info there. So you can just get in touch with us through that form. I don't think we have any outstanding questions that haven't been addressed, but this recording will be available and you can always reach out to us. Is there anything else anyone would like to add that they forgot, or I think you have pretty thorough presentations. Well, anyway, I'm really glad that we got the chance to talk to all 3 of you. And I'm really grateful for especially our guests, but also everyone in the audience for coming on Valentine's Day and taking an hour out of what might have been a nice candlelit dinner to do this presentation for us. And again, please go ahead and reach out to us or to these organizations if you have any interest at all in a summer program. I can't overstate how important they can be to not just your ability to get into colleges you are interested in, but also just to promote intellectual growth in a way that really cannot happen within the walls of a classroom in a high school.